Let's start with this. Steve over here, what secrets I'm sure they could reveal? Femme Beast, Iron mixed with clay, Jada. That's March 30th. It was yesterday. Today's March 31st, 2022. So you're talking about Will Smith and Jenny Jane. Will and his Jenny Jane. And then pretty much today, last night, Chris Rock, Will Smith, Who Wants to See Past the BS Puppet Show. Now, Jay seems to be like a little guy, and then has a 10-foot tail that's actually being covered up right now by that dress.
Oh, wow! Wow!
Try that again. I don't know. It didn't sound like a thump. Either way, it's all staged and set up. It's not like it was a spontaneous thing.
Jada's bald head.
Jada, I love you.
Enraged after Chris Rock poked fun at Smith's wife Jada's bald head.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
He's laughing, and then
Smith seems to find it funny at first, but Jada's eye roll indicates her displeasure.
Uh-oh, Richard.
first of all, when your hands are behind your back, that's because you're handcuffed. If you're Chris Rock representing Christ the Rock, you're in handcuffs, and Will Smith is Judas is coming up to you, and he's gonna slap you in the face. Supposedly, it's gonna look like it. Apparently, you're saying Will and his Ginny Jane, you're saying that they're gin.
Yeah, making some hash browns. So,
You mean little maggots?
Robin doesn't understand that he's from the house of air.
Error?
Lucifer is an angel. The devil is a jinn. Okay? You have two different entities. Lucifer rules over the jinn. You understand? It's very simple. Lucifer rules over the jinn. The jinn is the devil. The devil is an antichrist. Okay? You see? You understand? The devil is antichrist. The jinn.
Well, if that's the case, you're saying the Pope, saying that the dragon that has the 10 kings and then 5 to 7 heads is the devil, the Pope. Hello, I'm Joe Biden, Joe.
The Antichrist shall be revealed to the world. Who is the Antichrist? The Antichrist are jinn. They are demons. They are jinn. You call them
Yeah, but what about the Antichrist, the one that is supposed to rise up in the public eye?
demons. I call them jinn. Because the jinn were here before Adam. They were.
Out your mouth. Wow, dude. Yes. It was a G.I. Jane jump. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I'm going to, okay?
Chris Rock.
All right, folks, God bless you guys, and welcome to This Is It, 4, 3, 2, 1, Before the Fire. Christ's purpose was to make one new man from the two. Remember the two right side up, upside down triangles? 5 right side up, 5 upside down. You know, everyone's been talking about the Oscar Awards. Will Smith and Chris Rock. No one's got it right that I've seen so far. No one. Let's take a look at where they're standing. Take a look right here. Just look right here. Take a look right there.
You're saying a genie in the bottle, huh? You mean like that genie in that bottle? Genie coming up with the genie cap, eyes right there, the mouth. Rising up. Quarry farm. Wonder how your house is doing over here. It's being built here in that lot. There's a rider on a horse.
What have I been telling you guys? What are they standing right in front of? Right in front of your face.
Well, I believe that that's inside of a triangle. So, and if you look close, you know the Tower of Babel, where when it extends out, it's spiral, and then it makes it extend out more, and then it's more like a phantom image. It can go back in, and then this is the what extends out. Yep, see that? It's covering up a 10-foot tail. Let me evaluate this landscape again. William Penn, Philadelphia. Will Smith, Hershey Wise. Hershey's. Hershey Wise. The third. Down here, it's looking like Martha and Mary's spot. And then over here, because there's a tomb right here, and there was 3. There's the 2 women, Martha, Mary, and then Lazarus, the male. So because there's a tomb right here, and it takes 4 years for Lazarus to be raised from the dead, because he was sick. I can only imagine why Christ was upset during that period of time when he was dead, because maybe it made him sick. that Lazarus was dead. And he just wished and wanted him to be raised from the dead. So, but he waited an extra 2 years or 2 days. A day is a year. He waited. He heard he was sick. And then I believe he waited. He waited. There's a rumor that when people die, their spirit hovers over them for 3 days. And I don't know. Guess I'll find out when I die if my spirit is still here in the body. Like, how do I get out of here? And then they like take your spirit out of your head or something, or pop your head off, or whatever it is that they try to do. But so he waited 4 days just to make sure that he was dead. However, he may have been upset because it took him so long to get to him. Doubt it though. He might have been upset because he was dead, and Christ had that compassion for people that were dead, even though they were alive, the walking dead. So Lazarus was dead. And once he found out that he was sick, he waited an extra he waited even longer for him to die. To raise him up from the dead. So Lazarus being here, and then Martha and Mary playing out this scenario right here in Philadelphia landscape.
For me, they want to rule this world, but it's not theirs to rule. All right, I am an atom. I am an Aquarian atom from the house of air. Okay, and a Pisces from the time of Christ. Okay, when you understand the astrotheology of it, fools, you can discern the face of the sun and the moon and the stars, but you can't discern these times. And times, where does time take place at? Time takes place here on Earth. You can discern the macro, but you can't discern the micro. Okay, the Son of Man is an Aquarian. Okay, it's very simple. House of Air is 1/3 of all the zodiac has fallen. 1/3 of the angels. The angels make up the zodiac. Okay, just like the disciples make up the 12 signs of the zodiac. Okay, you understand? So 1/3 has fallen. 1/3 of the house of air has also fallen, when you understand it. So if you're an Aquarian, 1/3 of the house of air has fallen. They serve Saturn. Okay? They serve the god of this world, who is the king of earth, who is the Capricorn, who is Lucifer, a fallen angel. The devil are jinn. They're demons, and they're all a sliver of him. You have to overcome your father, the devil. You have to overcome him. And the only way you're going to do it is if you understand the word.
So you're trying to say that jinn equals reptilians from Saturn, but devils meaning more robotic, more robots. Just like Will Smith was in iRobot, he's half robotic, whatever, the arm. And Jada, anyone that has like a 10-foot tail must have robot in them. And you're saying that they're the devil, which is just an evil spirit, is what you're trying to say. But Will said, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth, Steve." That's what she said to you. It's this. Jada Pinkett. Ooh, wow, look at that. 666. That's just a basic number, too. But it says that she's the savior. Pyramid electric grid. Your father. reincarnated soul of Enoch, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Are you supposed to? Is this supposed to be a bad thing on her name? Because it looks like it's all good. Davidic bloodline, elevation, first female president of America. Book of Exodus. I don't know. Doesn't look so bad.
To you? Probably not. Not if you have a brain, it doesn't. I mean, you know, I can make all kinds of rude, snide remarks, but I'll just hold off on that. Let's take a look at the new Hershey
I have a feeling Kleck's talking to you, Steve.
bar. Here's the new Hershey bar. Her, she, celebrate she, Hershey. Look at the wise. You know,
Like John Wise the Third.
the Y chromosome represents male, and they've destroyed them all. They're destroying the male energy within the system. See, that's what the whole world's about.
So then, aren't you the last male? Even if you represented Saul and Jonathan, I think they both were. They both had their sword.
That's why there's all this gender bender confusion. That's why. Why do you think they're playing very superstitious while Barack Obama is waiting to come out? Don't you think that's kind of a weird song to play when the president is walking out? Well, if you've looked into the possibility of Barack and some of the other anomalies with Michelle and him actually accidentally calling her Michael several times. I mean, I don't know. Call me
Michael Obama and Biden. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, and Biden.
A total different reality. Others come from different planets. They all have their own agenda.
When we had Eva 1 in captivity from 1947, 1952, one of the big questions was, do you have a soul? Eva 1 said, absolutely, I have a soul. It is eternal.
There are phenomena going on. We also have different life forms. And
I underestimate Jesus of Nazareth, certainly. But I have acted differently from the start, possibly.
We must understand the story of Jesus.
The story is told through the eyes of those who knew him best.
Now tell me the truth.
Caiaphas, as high priest, would have regarded himself as the guardian of the Jewish people.
So I'm going to add another one to Matrix that's not added to the system. I just went ahead and added this one in too. This wasn't in there. I was actually kind of surprised. I'm surprised it wasn't in there. See, here's Caiaphas. Alright. He organized the plot. He's the one that organized the plot. He's one of the Pharisees that organized.
You and I, we're going to see each other face to face.
infamous, retarded, I'm going to walk up and slap you.
I am the resurrection and the life.
But I have acted differently from the start. Possibly.
That's the plot to kill Jesus Christ. Okay, according to the Gospels, Jewish high priest. All right, so High Priest Caiaphas. Okay, it's a familiar spirit, a wicked, evil, fallen spirit. It's still here on the earth today. It's here. And see, Caiaphas collaborated with Pilate, with Pontius Pilate.
What's wrong with that?
So
they had just come through the most horrendous judgments on the earth you could possibly imagine.
I am in charge of keeping peace and stability in Judea. No one will be able to say Caiaphas did nothing.
Caiaphas.
And that you're going to be begging me to forgive you.
Is the high priest of Jerusalem, high priest of the temple from 18 to 36 AD.
We know a little bit about Caiaphas, namely from the Jewish Roman historian Josephus. Caiaphas is the highest ranking Jewish official in Judea.
No idea who I am. She has no idea of the power that I have.
Son-in-law of a former high priest, Annas, one of the ruling family. It was a hereditary role. They were incredibly rich.
I live in poverty. Okay, and I live in poverty. I can barely keep myself fed, and I can barely keep my electricity on, and I'll probably end up losing my home because I have refused to accept the system that we are in. I've come out.
Caiaphas is central to the Jesus story because without Caiaphas, Jesus can't be arrested. The Gospels tend to paint Caiaphas as the villain. In fact, they may paint a different picture of Caiaphas than the historical reality.
Steve's own words and his own channel.
First became.
I wonder why Jesus was wearing why everybody was like wearing a thing around their head. Maybe there was 5G towers back then, and there was electromagnetic torture devices that they were just walking around, because it looks like that material, the material that protects you from those rays that come at you.
Became aware of him, a man claiming to be the Messiah, on Hoshana Rabbah.
On Hoshana Rabbah.
Hoshana Rabbah. October 15th, 2022. The express purpose of Hoshana Rabbah, the seventh day of the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, the 21st day of the month of Tishrei, is rejoicing.
October 15th, 2022. I mean, well, that's what it is this year, but if you go back to 17 or 18, if you go back to 2017, October 15th, well, that was 6 years ago. It would be 5 years.
Hoshana Rabbah. One of the most important days of the year, and the day on which everything I stand for would come under threat.
Okay, I would be more interested in that. But the other thing is that
there'll be a connection there, right there, and there'll be a connection there. But just the name Caiaphas, okay, this is how you know. It's more than, you gotta have two or more witnesses. You gotta have two or more witnesses to understand the complexity of it all, really. Okay, see? Caiaphas, alright, Sheol, right there. There's Caiaphas. You come down here, right? And there's a connection right there. But when you come over here, okay, right there, you can see him, okay? Connected to Benjamin Netanyahu as well, okay? The blood has run, mark of the beast, all right? I am the Antichrist. Well, Caiaphas was an Antichrist, okay? Robin Henry Teagues, okay? Familiar spirits. I'll show you some more here. Look, watch. Caiaphas. There's Hillary Diane Rodham, Prince of Darkness. All right, Gematria's Secret. There's your Pontius Pilate. That's why.
And we're about to see the same type of judgment. I mean, look at Malachi. Look at
some kind of safety zone or some kind of buffer that will enable them to protect themselves against the Parthians and even anticipate what the Parthians.
He's connected to Caiaphas. Okay, Pontius Pilate and Caiaphas are both together. All right.
God brings into that body, into his nose, that life, which chayim comes from the word.
When I died,
plural, but
when I died,
the banner, it's time. I'll be honest with you guys. I literally was just taking the faith. I'm taking a step of faith that is so huge to lift up the banner. And he's like, lift up that banner now.
That was back in December 21st, 2020. And then 4 days later, or actually 3 days later, I went ahead and did what I was feeling like what the communication was about, was just to show the other race.
I had already gotten my confirmation.
Oh, okay. It was on the same day, December 21st.
That morning, raise up a banner, and then an hour or so later, I come back. And then I was trying to get us, me and, like I said, I have friends from different states that have come in town, and we got together. We're all going to go have dinner. And so I said, I was trying to get us in a restaurant. And we got together. We're all going to go have dinner. It's like, oh my gosh, that's insane. So I knew to put up the banner then. And then I was trying to get us, me and, like I said, I have friends from different states that have come in town, and we got together. We're all going to go have dinner. And so I said, I was trying to get us in a restaurant.
Jesus' friends, Mary and Martha of Bethany, were two women who
I'm just going to say
had
this
a
to
fair
Click.
amount of mean.
When I put up the banners, it's my own personal religious belief. I'm exercising my religious belief. Nobody's giving me a problem, but I do the things that I feel like I ought to do, and also that it helps others, and it also connects to communication where you're just on the right track with where you're heading. And so as I'm doing it, I the feeling I had ever since I was a kid, which is there's certain things I do that it feels good for me to do, but I also know it, like if anybody was watching, they would appreciate that, whatever it is, that work.
Make the employees' day. Well, my boss, I serve the King, I serve the Most High, and he did the most surprising, it's the greatest thing he could have done for me, was to give me just the perfect peace of heart and peace of mind. Job well done, Jonathan. And the way he did it was so mind-boggling. I wasn't expecting it. I had no idea. It just happened out of nowhere. And the way he did it was so exciting. I was just like, woohoo, no way.
Who devoted much of their resources, of time and money to Jesus' ministry.
There you would find Jesus normally in the late afternoon. We find him out on the Mount of Olives all the time. But before he would get there, he actually came to his friend's house. Present day Bethany actually has a house that they call the house of Mary and Martha, and it really is about 2,000 years old, they believe. So it was a place that Jesus rested. It was a place where Jesus knew that as he was going to go into the city, as he was going to go in and minister, that he was going to take some persecution. He was going to be beat up if that was almost always the case. When he poured himself out when he went to Jerusalem. Every single time he went to Jerusalem, he was poured out. He spent time teaching on the southern steps. He ministered in and around the Temple Mount, and then he would withdraw. He'd go back to the Mount of Olives, and sometimes we find him
Mount Olives
at this home because these were his friends. These were people that he knew, people that he loved. And there's several things we can draw from this passage, and one of them is even Jesus needed friends. Sometimes we think of Jesus as God. And very often we dehumanize Jesus. But Jesus was also fully man. He wept, he got tired, he was hungry, he got sweaty, he was in need of refreshment. And this was a place where Jesus had come to be refreshed before he was going to go into the city of Jerusalem.
So excited,
and you can see what happens when
you... I told you the other day, and I gave you a testimony. Hey, Robin, nerd. Yeah.
February 29th, 2020.
Anyway.
Now, when I heard that, I heard love out of Kleck's, out of his spirit.
Amen. In verse 38 here in Luke 10, and now it happened, as they went, that he entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha welcomed him to her house, and she and her sister called Mary.
In other words, YouTube house. So Mary was the one that was basically, well, Martha was the one that was busy doing things, and then Mary was the one that was just learning and not really hearing too much.
I prayed, I asked, he delivered. So either I take that step of faith and say, you know what, there's no doubt that the Lord delivered that to me. So I have to do what he says. Otherwise, I'm saying that I don't believe that that was actually him communicating to me. And I know it's him communicating to me because I've been doing this since 2002.
That he entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha welcomed him to her house.
Hey, I want to tell you.
And she and her sister called Mary, who also sat at Jesus' feet.
Really good job.
Do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? House. And she and her sister called Mary, who also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was distracted by much serving. And
I asked 2 times before I went to bed. He showed me the words display openly, make a public display of, because that glorifies God, the faith, like Abraham. He believed God and he went out in search of a country, believing God, and it was accounted to him as righteousness. So I asked the Lord very directly, are you telling me to do this? And he showed me display openly, show openly, not once but twice. The very next morning, I got up and I prayed. I said,
Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? And therefore, tell her to help me. I mean, come on.
Believing God, and it was accounted to him
I'm
as
pulling
righteousness.
my weight, hers too.
I asked the Lord very directly, are you telling me to
I'm
do
busy.
this? And he showed me display.
Jesus answered and said to her, Martha, Martha. You can probably throw a few more Marthas in there. Martha, 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 Martha.
Not once, but twice. The very next morning, I got up and I prayed. I said, Lord, I need to hear from you. I'm pretty much on the edge of my seat. And that morning he showed me, he told me, open my Bible. And I opened up to Isaiah 13. And it says, lift up a banner upon a high mountain. But look what it says, a flag, a sail, a flagstaff, a signal, a banner, a pole, an ensign. It's very much, put that in the video.
So there's
a testimony against them, just like Noah. So anyway, when the Lord showed me this, now I have no choice. I prayed, I asked, he delivered.
So either I take that step of faith and say, you know what, there's no doubt that the Lord delivered that to me. So I have to do what he says. Otherwise, I'm saying that I don't believe that that was actually him communicating to me. And I know it's him communicating to me.
It's all just been about communication.
Absolute truth is come to an end. You've got it.
So I decided to put Mary, not Mary, but Mary, and then Christ must.
You've got it. I'll show you the way he showed me. The Da Vinci Code is a really twisted movie trying to say that there's the bloodline of Jesus, that Mary Magdalene was Jesus' wife, and they had a royal baby, and all through the ages that bloodline has existed, and they're guarding the Holy Grail, which is really a female from that bloodline, as all the descendants, go down all the years from Christ, and her name is Sophia, and she's supposed to be the heir of Christ, and it's this woman. Anyway, so it was really a unusual way to do it, but the way he did it is perfect, and I'm going to share that with you.
And then the very next day, December 24th, 2020, I did that video talking about what's going to happen tomorrow with the bombing and all that stuff, and it happened in Nashville. All the very close, similar things that I wrote in the title came true the next day, just in a different place. It wasn't in Philadelphia, but I'm not going to go and show all that because I already did a special on that one. It's just, and it was only it took 6 months for me to really 2020 a year. Well, this is a year and 6 months after I started watching Jonathan Fleck's channel and really getting into what he was saying. Now knowing that what they were saying.
Let me prove it. You think it's an accident that Will Smith is wearing Converse tinnies and iRobot? Here, let me show you a picture. Watch. Let me just show you another picture. Watch.
Go silent.
Let me show you some pictures.
I'm just giving you a little